Welcome to the Remarkable Life podcast. We are here for another coaching session. Another brave soul has come forward to share what is it like backstage when you're getting coached. This is Ariane, and she is here, and she's going to tell us like what she does for one, and then what we're going to coach on today.
So hi, Caryn. I'm a life and career coach for independent musicians and people working in the music industry. And I mainly help musicians get clear on their goals, stay focused on what they want, and step into their confidence so that they can get their music career to the next level, whatever that means to them. Maybe it's just finishing songs and putting themselves out there. Maybe it's booking more gigs or finding a booking agent to represent them. Or if they make income as a music teacher as well, I help them with that, with making more income, finding more students. And deeper down, I just really help people become more of their true self
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy the journey, because the music career can be challenging. There's lots of ups and downs. It's not super easy, and I want my clients to enjoy the journey as well.
Yeah, awesome. And I can tell that, and want to say thank you for speaking English so we can all understand you. But what languages do you coach in?
English actually is,
Okay.
funnily enough, is the language I'm most comfortable in. I forget to speak my mother tongue. I haven't lived in France for a long time, so
Okay.
I can't speak French anymore.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So tell me what would be really helpful for you? What would move the needle for us to coach on today?
Mm. So one thing I want to work on is finding more ease in my business. And ease is one of the keywords I have for this year, because I feel that everything is difficult for me. Like, I really envy those people who seem effortlessly good at what they do, and it's natural to them, and sometimes they even say so. And for me, in my business and in my career generally, I always feel like I'm struggling. Like, I feel like everything is difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering as well if there's a part of me that takes and consciously takes the difficult route rather than taking the easy route.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the overall goal, is what's happening here and what is in the way of me finding more ease, and why is it that I feel like everything is difficult for me.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna explore two roads today because we've been on this call for, podcast for maybe 3 minutes tops, and you've already said everything is difficult for me 3 times, right? So tell me, when you think that thought, what does it feel like in your body below the neck? Everything is difficult for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a sense of constriction and a limitation. And I know that just by saying those words, I'm already limiting myself
Mm-hmm.
instead of opening the door to things being different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What if we give it to you? What if we say everything is harder for you? Everything's going to be more difficult for you. What does that do anything?
Really like, oh, well, that's my destiny then. It's nearly like I don't want to fight against it. Like, I don't like it,
Yeah.
but it's nearly like I've accepted this is how it is for me.
Okay. Sort of. Because you're still wondering, maybe there's a way
Mhm,
around this.
mhm.
So there's not full acceptance, but you don't quite believe that this is the way. It seems like maybe it could be different.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it can be different because I see other people having it different.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you see when you look out at other people and you think it's not as difficult for them? What do you see that tells you that's true?
Yeah, so I it's true that it's, first of all, it's my perception, because I don't really know what it's like for
Right.
them. And what I see is, like, the example I always think about is, because I think a lot of us know who she is. So it's Denise DeFille Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And I know her brand is based on that as well, on things being chill and so on. But she really exudes that when
She
she
does.
speaks, and she does all these videos, and she's really active. But she just has this natural way. I think being natural comes up, and when I hear her talk, I really do feel the ease, and it's kind of like part of me is like, well, what she says is nothing new, right? Like it's nothing spectacular. It's nothing I haven't heard before. And I really admire her for just saying that thing and
Mm-hmm.
being okay with that and doing it so effortlessly, because it does come across like it, and it does work.
Mm-hmm.
What I
Yeah.
mean is like her message lands.
Yeah. Because you can tell she's authentic, she's aligned, she's not living feeling it's really difficult and trying to sell us ease. We would feel that, right? She wouldn't be anywhere near
Mhm.
as successful. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. She has really embodied that and for a long time. So tell me about the other side. So let's just say it's just as easy to say everything is more difficult for me as it is to say everything comes easily to me. What would it
That
be
is
like
true.
if we just went over there and like you don't have to give up difficult at all, but let's just go try it on. Like what if things came easily to you? Then what would life be like?
I think it would be fantastic, because then I could enjoy myself more. I could do things more quickly and get things done, all the things I want to do, and not feel like I'm working all the time. And I would feel in flow.
Mm-hmm. So is that what you really want? Is to have flow, not work all the time,
Yeah,
enjoy yourself from time to time, and just get more
definitely.
things done? So this is the
Yes.
life you're after. Okay. So
Hmm.
the thing standing between you and what you want is a belief that things are difficult for you.
It's not just a belief, it's like I feel it. Things are difficult for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Like, hmm
But that is the truth, right? Like thoughts that we think over and over again are beliefs. And then beliefs become identities. And so if we have had a lot of evidence or circumstances or whatever that have created a lot of difficult in our lives, it can become a part of our identity. And maybe this is like what it's feeling like for you.
I guess whenever I think about identity, I always struggle with that, because I never think this is who I am, but I guess deep down there is a subconscious identity, even though I never claim this is my identity, if you see what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
But if I think of it, but I think if I think about my life generally, like if, since I was a child, there's definitely been um, a texture of working hard,
Mm-hmm.
I know there's past conditioning for being rewarded for performing. I had to perform and I had to work hard. So there's definitely this past conditioning. And I guess this is how I've always done life, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Um, and not choosing the easy way. And there's something here that I like about um I mean it's like not choosing the how do you call it, the traditional path or
Mm-hmm.
the easy
Yeah.
solution, but really going for what I want
Right.
and creating the life that I want. And sometimes that is hard and that is challenging, and it requires courage. And I like that. I'm not gonna just you know what I'm saying? Like not
I
just
do.
take
Yeah. There's some
the easy.
pride that you've taken the harder road, that you've carved your own path. Like there's you get to have that. You get to be proud of what you've done and that you haven't taken quote unquote the easy way.
Mhm.
And now you're at this juncture of like, okay, and I want more ease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still want to create the life that I want to create
Mhm.
and not hold myself back from my dreams, but I want to do this with more ease.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think you risk by allowing more ease?
I, I don't see any risk.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's super risky. And I'll just share a few reasons why. Like if we've always done something one way, one, it's who we are, it's the easy way for us to kind of do it the hard way, as confusing as that is, it's kind of become a part of who we are. And if we give that up, we give up that ability to have pride for doing it the hard way. So, where does your pride come from in yourself if things get easier?
I guess there might be this sense of I need to earn it, right? Like, and if it comes easy, then I haven't earned it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um,
So, you could feel like a fraud. If everything starts happening, it feels really easy, but you didn't, quote unquote, work hard through difficult slog to earn it. What might that be like?
yeah, because I think there's this unconscious. I know in theory that it's not true at all, and I want to really feel that
Yeah.
because and deep down it's like in order to get whatever I need to do all those things, I need to take the
Yeah.
steps, I need to work hard, etc. And I know in theory no, like you don't have to do it that way.
Yeah.
um so I guess taking the steps, doing the work, then there's this sense of achievement of like, yeah, I made it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made
Like
it
I struggled and
happen.
I overcame. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So are you willing to do work that is good and meaningful and not struggle to overcome in order to do it?
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay. And that there's enough curiosity in there to like try this on.
Yeah, and also it's curiosity, and as I said, like I really look up to this. Let's take Denise as an archetype. I really look
Yeah.
up. I mean, I'm sure she's worked really hard. Like
Yeah.
it's not just being like, but I look up to people who seem to have it easy, who are naturally. I love naturally talented people. I find talents. People who are in their people who are in their talent, whatever the talent is,
Mhm.
and they're like, wow, they're just like being great at what they do.
Yeah.
I find that so, so attractive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really magnetic. Yeah. Okay. So there's something that keeps coming up, which is this idea that people who do things with ease are naturals and that it's effortless. But really, the one I want to look at is that someone's a natural at something. And if you have a belief that someone who does it with ease, like Denise appears to, is a natural, then that means you can never have it because if you were a natural, you would have it already. So, how do we get around that one?
Yeah, because I feel there's some things definitely that are more natural to us. Like I know that some things I'm good at, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
more natural at, that comes easily to me. But that's never to do with business or work.
Yeah.
And um, and I also get to create more ease, even if I'm not a natural
Yeah.
at something.
Yeah. So, I think we have like, there's a couple ways to do this. You could look at all the people who you think it comes easy for and try to find all the ways where actually they're struggling. And I think that's kind of like tuning your brain to the wrong channel.
Mm,
Or you can look at yourself and find all the places where you actually already have ease. And instead of always being tuned into the channel of things come difficultly for me, you're tuning to the channel of look at all this ease. Like,
mm,
like I'm imagining that already today you have done at least 11 things with great ease. At least. Like maybe you drove a car, maybe you did your hair, maybe you wrote an email, like all these things where you have great ease, I'm assuming.
mm.
And finding those, because right now your brain is always looking for internally what's hard for me and externally how easy it is for other people. So this shift would be internally what's easy for me and externally look at all the ease in the world, but seeing kind
Yeah,
of keep both sides of the coin for you instead of just one side of the coin.
Yeah, I love that because actually just you saying that, I was thinking, no, there's nothing that came to me today. But then I was thinking it's not true. Like simple stuff like I've got a morning routine and I'm
Amazing.
it's easy for me to do the routine. I have the discipline. I love doing it. So even that, like, yeah, that comes easy to me to just show up for my routine every day.
Was there a time where you didn't have a morning routine?
Yeah,
When was that? Tell us about
a
the
long time
process
ago.
of
Before
like,
I had,
tell us about the
but
process of becoming a person who easily has a morning routine.
mhm.
What was it like to go from someone who didn't have one to someone who has one and it comes with great ease?
So like now it comes with ease because the routine is established.
Hmm.
But I remember, yeah, I remember like wanting to start meditating for quite a while, like maybe for a few years before I actually started to meditate every day. And I made it happen. I can't exactly remember how. And now now it's like driving the car. Like it's easy for me to show up for this.
Yeah. And there are at least 1 million people in the world right now who wish they had a good morning routine or who wish that they could meditate every day, but still can't. And so they would look at you and think, well, she's a natural. She's probably always done that. It's always come easy for her. But really, it didn't. And you decided and you committed and you kept deciding, I'm going to keep doing this until it became natural for you. And now it's just a part of who you are.
Yeah.
This is the same, I think, for most things. So, what do you think it would look like for you? Because it seems like the takeaway or the homework here is let's tune to the ease channel versus the difficult channel as a way of just gaining evidence. This isn't like go out and tell your brain everything should be easy because it won't believe you yet. This is that step of like, let's just create a space to put evidence of where ease already exists. And you just came up with a beautiful example. So how can you take this into your everyday life, finding the ease that already exists?
Yeah. So it would be, you know, I was hesitate to add another thing to my to-do list because my to-do list is just crazy, but having that intention, like you said, to just notice where I am finding ease in every little thing, in the
Yeah.
big things, in the little things, in the process, in the task, and and I think it's also a really good idea to then repeat that to myself. Like this is easy. I'm finding this easy. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's not about lying about what's not easy, but reaffirming to myself what is easy,
Yeah. Yeah. And it
so
could
that I
even
can
be
start
like,
to shape that identity.
exactly. Some people do like a gratitude journal. You could do an ease journal, like what came easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think this is the starting point because I think it's just getting enough data points for your brain to have that belief that other people are naturals at something fade away and have the seed of ease is possible for me start to grow.
Yeah. And then there's probably something about it's like how do I even define, oh, this is easy or this is difficult? Because
Yeah.
like everything in my business, as I said, like feels like it's hard for me to create copy. It's hard for me to sell. It's hard for me, whatever. Like I
Yeah.
feel like everything is hard, but actually,
How do we know?
yeah.
Like, how do we know that what feels hard for you isn't actually easy and it could be way harder? How do we know someone else might have ease? Like,
Mhm.
maybe what you're doing is just the process.
And I think it also comes from the fact that everything takes me a long, long, long time, and I think like we it's due to also perfectionism, overthinking, blah blah blah. So I also feel like, oh, things are hard for me because it takes me a long time to do everything, and I'm sure other people write their newsletter in 20 minutes, and am I capable of doing that? Therefore, it's hard for me,
Ah, yeah.
and
That doesn't have
and
to be the
maybe
way.
yeah, and it's also
This is the time it takes is also a sentence, right? So it takes me a long, long, long time. What does that feel like in your body?
yeah, it feels like it's a losing fight, and it's never enough. It's never good enough. I'm never quick enough.
Right.
And I was thinking about that, like over the last year, thinking I should just accept that this is my process. My process is this, and this is how I am, and I'm totally there for improvement, and I will improve. But yeah, like just
But this is
accepting
it.
that we don't have all the same capacities, and that's
Right.
okay.
Right. Well, I'm thinking about you're working with an artist. Let's say they're a songwriter, and their process takes like first they have to sleep on it for 6 days, and then they write a whole bunch. And then 4 days later, after they have to go on a vision quest, then they do the editing. And after that, then they feel like it's done. But ultimately, it takes, days and days to write one song. Is that okay? Or is that a really long, 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 long time?
Yeah, I would never judge them for like
Yeah.
saying. I would
So,
totally say to them, it's your process. You know exactly how you work, and you respect your creative process, and there's no rush. And
yeah. What if that could be true for you too?
it's like, yes, and I need, oh, I want to create a sustainable business, and that's another thing. Like, not to go without on another tangent, but sometimes I'm like, well, it's already sustainable. You want it more sustainable, yeah, but it's already sustainable. But yeah,
Well,
it's also that pressure of feeling this all these things I want to do on my to-do list, and it's
yeah.
fine to respect my process, but also I need to move forward and get things done.
Yeah. And sustainability is about doing what works, right? And so, how can we allow what works? And if we're someone who takes 7 hours to do something, maybe that's not going to work. Maybe that means you only write one email a month. I don't know. But like,
Mm,
if you're truly creating sustainable for you, that means your business responds to who you are. It doesn't look like everybody else's, it looks like yours.
yeah.
Yeah. And so then, I think the other question is who's in charge of your business? Is it you or is it your to do list? I get that your list is probably comprised of things that are based on goals that you have, but did you leave room for you to be who you are when you created it?
When I created the to-do list, you mean?
Yeah. Because usually the to do list is sort of like this ideal world where people are masterful at everything and everything gets done and gets tied up with a beautiful bow, which often isn't how life works, right?
Mm, yeah. So it's like, I guess, creating a to-do list, knowing that things will get done in time, and without putting myself under so much pressure, which is another thing, which it's obviously tied with ease, like the fact that I feel like there's been a lot of pressure. It's like
Yeah.
self-imposed pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we're constantly trying to show up and look different from how we actually are, that's going to feel very pressurized. But if we're kind of good stewards of our own experience, then it's like, how can I make this look like me? And I would invite you to think of like, there's a holding space for projects and ideas. And then there's the few things that we get done in one day versus having everything kind of look like it has to get done in one day. But the ultimate, like if we take the theme of today's call and we just look at your to-do list, how does ease have a place there?
Um, to be honest, I don't really know, because when I say to-do list, it's a giant list that I don't even look at because I'm busy working
Mhm.
on all the other to-do lists that are everywhere else. Um,
So it sounds like that's really more of this holding tank for ideas that could be done in the future,
mhm.
Like, okay, so
Yeah.
then that might
And
need a
then
new title.
yeah, it's the list, whatever.
Right.
And then I've got my calendar where I time block. Okay,
Okay.
this is what I'm working on each day, each week.
All right. So when you're time
And
blocking and you're planning
mhm,
that, are you allowing ease in? Because it's your word of the year. Does it exist even in your calendar?
absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. So here's
As the calendar is full, and I keep pushing back things from one week to the next.
okay. So here's your homework, should you choose to accept it, is to look at next week and look at it with ease in mind of what would ease do? What would ease plan for me next week? What would give me a chance to come into flow? And can you plan your week in a way that you're not working absolutely all the time? Because it sounds like
Mhm.
that's like what you want to be right now is you want to enjoy yourself, not work all the time, get some stuff done, get to be in flow here and there. So can you bring that into the next week right now?
Yeah, I need to basically fine tune and create a new process for myself. Like in the last few days, I'm working on a launch right now, and I'm creating content, the other content for this launch and the copy. And this is typically what I takes me a long time and what I struggle
Mhm.
with. We're gonna use the word just to illustrate. And um, I realized in the last few days that yes, it took me ages, but actually I was focusing on this all day long, and then I realized that me doing this actually created more flow
Mhm.
and more ease in the process. So I think it's a matter of being a bit more loose with my calendar, of like just time blocking, and then working on what feels the most aligned for that moment. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like being
Yeah.
less rigid of like this happens then, but more like, okay, I've got all these things to do. What do I really feel like doing now? Because I know that this would have the best energy for me to
Yeah.
actually then.
That sounds great. And then the real work is like allowing for that to all happen because you have this ability to find ease and to create ease. And then it's just, can I let myself? Can I trust myself to create it and live with it?
Mhm. Yeah, so it would be a matter of like trying it out and allowing myself to notice what when I do follow like what I really want to do in the moment and like seeing the results of that and then assessing from there.
Yeah.
The one worry I guess is like never feeling like doing the difficult things like selling or right
Hmm.
like I don't think I'll ever come to the point where I really want to post on Instagram right now. So it's like not avoiding the things that I don't feel like doing either.
Right. Yeah. And then it's, I think the thing is my goal compelling enough to have me do the things that are required? Like maybe there's a time of day where it feels easy when you're laying on the couch or whatever to post on Instagram. Maybe there's not. But I think if you know where you're going, you know why you're going there, it makes everything along the way make a little bit more sense. And you're pretty clear on where you're headed. Yeah. Okay. So what are your takeaways today?
So it's definitely being very mindful of the words that I keep using and the stories I tell myself about what it's like for me and focusing on the ease channel, like you said, and noticing all the ways I am easeful and then consciously deciding to bring more ease, actively bringing more ease and I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look like
Hmm.
practically beyond what we've said, but kind of like yeah, making ease one important goal and finding ways to do that so that I can like prove to myself that I also get to get things done, create results with more ease.
Yeah. Yeah. So ease is really the flavor of what's happening. And the powerful questions you can hold are, how do I plan for ease here? And where was ease already in my day today? Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. I know that you are not the only person who has this question. So I think this will be good to share.
Thank you.
Thanks. So after we hung up the coaching there, which was fantastic, I'm so glad that we all get to hear that today. Ariane said, it's so funny how with, really good coaching, it's the thing that feels so obvious and yet can feel so magical at the same time. And I think that's exactly right. It's like, how can we all hear exactly what we need to hear and have it feel so obvious and so magical at the same time? That's what I want for each of us, because we all need feedback. We all need to be seen, to be witnessed in our really obvious struggles that potentially we've had for years, that maybe we wish we didn't have, that we think are dumb or, not worthwhile or not fancy enough for us. We all have these things that we drag around that we can share. And I'm someone you can share those things with always. And I'm someone who has those things too, which is why I do the work I do with the people who support me. So I just want to be thankful for all of us in our beautiful human experiences that we are having. We, each of us, will come up against our own unique set of kind of mundane struggles again and again. And every time we meet them, we are the new person with more experience and hopefully more grace. And for the love of God, a little more ease as we meet them. And that's it. That's all I have. I hope that you're doing well. Thanks for being here.